Hello, my name is Angela. Welcome to Crochet and Beyond. I'm so glad you're here today, and I'm going to teach you a crochet stitch called the cobble stitch. It is a very tiny project here for me, but I'm going to teach a secret so that you can do this stitch in any size you want. Now, look at what I'm doing. This is a square that I'm putting together with other squares, other kinds of stitches, and this one here goes like that. Actually, it looks more like this, okay? And together, I will make another 9 squares, big squares like these, and it will become a big queen-sized blanket. All right, so let me tell you a little bit about the stitch and how you can actually make this happen for you in any size you want. So this is how it works. It's very simple. If you chain a multiple of 2, that's it. Multiple of 2, and this will work always. If you have noticed some of my other videos on stitches, you will understand that sometimes the chain has to be a different sort of multiples plus a number of chains, and there's always a little formula. This one here is so super simple. Just multiples of 2 will do the job. The stitches used here is single crochet and treble crochet. So lots of yarn overs, and it will use quite a bit of yarn. So make sure that you plan for that. So the stitch becomes quite close knit. So if you want something that does not look very lacy, this is definitely the one you're after. What you will need for this project is worsted weight yarn. I have Super Saver, Red Heart. This is a size 10 worsted weight yarn. And for crochet hooks, I like to do my foundation chain always with one that's a little bigger. And then once I'm done with the foundation chain, I switch to one that is a bit smaller, okay? And then also make sure you have scissors and one needle with a big eye and a dual point. That's all you need to weave in the ends. I would love to see what you create using this stitch. I do have a Facebook group that you are able to join if you want to do that. The link is in the descriptions below. If you don't do Facebook, that's all right. You can tell me here by commenting below on what kind of project you're working on. And go ahead and like this video and share this channel here with somebody that you know needs to learn to crochet. And there's a lot of people out there who are always curious, so tell them about it. I do have 5 basic lessons on learning how to crochet. I would like some people getting their hands busy and falling in love with hook and yarn. So it's really fun, isn't it? With that all being said, let's get busy. Grab your hook, grab your yarn, and let's get started. Let's get started with a foundation chain. So for a foundation chain here, I will make 26. So this is how I get started. I make a loop and hold it tight between my 2 fingers. Insert the hook in the loop and then pull through once, twice, and one more time. So that's 3 chains, but hold on here now. Pull the string and you have left over a knot and your first foundation chain. So that's how I like to make my initial knot. There are several ways of getting it done, so you do your favorite. I like it this way. All right, so let's do 26 chains. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 25, and 26. There we go. Leave that hook aside and pick up slight smaller hook. Alrighty. So from here, your first row is going to be all single crochets. Before you continue, make sure that you take a look at your chain and make sure it is somewhat flexible like this. That's why I like a bigger hook. It makes the chain workable, because if the chains are too tight, you're gonna have problems building your work upon that chain. So make sure it is just flexible, almost like elasticy, like that. All right. Okay, so it is now time for you to do your first row, and you're going to do 25 single crochets to the end. So you have 26 chains. You will end up with 25 single crochets. Skip this chain that is closest to the hook and start right there. Insert the hook into that chain and do your first single crochet. That's 1, 2, 3, and so on. Meet you at the end of the row. 24 and 25. Right. Okay, that's your first row. Alrighty, so here it is. Before we turn and start row 2, chain 1 and now turn. On row 2, you're going to be working single crochet and treble crochet alternating, and your very first stitch is very close here to the hook. That is where you insert and give me your very first single crochet. Okay, next stitch you do treble crochet, so yarn over twice, insert the hook, and finish your treble crochet. So it becomes a very tall stitch. So there is a very short stitch and a tall stitch. Then there will be a short one and a tall, right? So single, treble, single, treble. So what will happen is the treble crochets will start shrinking and they become a tiny little corn on the other side, okay? So that's why it's called the cobble stitch. Alrighty, so let's move forward. Single crochet in the next stitch and then treble crochet in the next stitch, and that's it. Do that throughout the end of the row and just watch those popcorns just showing up on the other side of the work. It looks really cute once it's ready. Okay, so you get the picture here. Let's do one more. Alrighty, so you see they tend to bubble up in the other side. Yeah, so if they don't, kind of push them to that direction. Once the work is bigger, you can see it better. So see how bumpy it gets? All right, that's what you're after. Okay, so continue here until the end of the row and I'll meet you again on row 3. Okay, so there is a treble crochet here and a last single crochet at the very end. And this one is always a bit of a stubborn one. You have to find it. Sometimes you have to just change the positioning of your hook a bit. I'm having a special hard time right now. That's where I want it, there. And that is where my single crochet goes. Alrighty? If you look at it from the top like this, it looks kind of bumpy, right? Yeah. Okay, we're ready for row 3 now. Before you move forward, you simply chain 1 and turn around. Row 3 is single crochets all the way through. Now be careful here where you done a treble crochet. It's a bit of a bigger stitch and you have to kind of look from the top here and twist it a little bit and you will see the both strings of the chain. Make sure that you grab both because you could by mistake just grab one like that. And that will look weird later. So make sure that you look carefully where your chain is. It's a bit in the back there. And make sure both loops of the chain are included as you go along here and do single crochets all the way through. So that is your row 3. So from here, you will alternate between row 2 and row 3 until your work is at the length you want it. Okay, so there is no brainer here. You can just go autopilot almost. You don't have to change any number of beginning stitches or anything. It just goes and goes and goes. Make sure that you just alternate the rows with the treble crochets with the rows that only have single crochets. So I'm almost at the end here. And then I'm gonna get started on one more row. Here we go. See, don't forget the rows at the end here. See, right there, and ta-da, there we go. That's your very first stitches coming up. So they pop out this way quite strongly. If I turn it, then you can see it, right? Yeah. Okay, so here you turn, chain 1, turn, and again, just as I showed you previously, alternate now between single crochet and treble all the way through, and so on. Then you will, when you're done with this row, you will go and do a row of single crochets and keep repeating until you have the length you want. Alrighty, so do your work. Mine won't take long because it's just a square. So when I'm done with the amount of rows desired, I will come back here and show you how to do a very simple single crochet edge. So then I finished that last row with a single crochet here, and I'm ready to move on with a single crochet edging. Alrighty, so you will have 3 single crochets in each corner, and in between each corner you will have 25 stitches. I'm very specific about 25 stitches here because I am using my my square to put together with other squares to make a blanket, so they all need to be the same, so therefore the 25 single crochets in between are important. So if you're not doing a blanket, you could be give and take there a little bit, but you need to make sure that you decide, depending on what size you have, no matter what size of work you're doing, that you have not too few, not too many. Too many stitches will make it wavy, and too few will make it too tight. So you want to spread it out evenly. All right, now because I need a 25, I need to do a little bit of estimating here. I kind of look over the border and see where my stitches will obviously go. Depending on which stitch you're working with, sometimes it's a bit hard to see. Here I can see the big openings right away. And there is the big one, and then there's the small one. The big one and the small one, and always a bumpier one in between. So let's see if I do big hole, small hole, and skip the bumpy thing. See how many stitches that will make. So let's get started. Before we move on, note that we are not turning. This is my last row here, right? Normally we would chain and turn, but in this one we just chain and we do not turn. Right here where you chained, there is an opening right there, and that's where you will do 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. All right, now here you have to estimate where your other corner is gonna be. That will likely be right there. So that's where my corner will be. So in here, between here and here, that's where I need 25. So I look at my stitch and I kind of try to have an idea where the hook will obviously go in. So I see that there is always a bumpy part here, so I'm trying to skip that, and there should be 2 spaces in between the bumpy ones. You will feel that. So there is 1, 2, then I skip that, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. I need 2 more. So here, more or less, I will double up. Then I will have 24 and 25. And then at the end, that will make a total of the 25 single crochets I'm looking. So you kind of have to estimate where the stitches go. It's not an exact science either, but make sure that if you have to increase a little bit, for example, I had an easy 23, I need 25, then that I increase it evenly, not all in the one spot. That wouldn't make sense, right? Okay, so let's do that then. Alrighty, now let's move on here and hold on this tail right here, and then weave it in as you single crochet. Then later on you just have to snip it off. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. Leave it behind and deal with the weaving in later, but I kind of like to do that right now. Okay, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm gonna double up now. 7, 8. Okay, now I'm gonna leave the tail behind. 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm gonna double up. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Let's double up one more time. 19 and 20, 21, 22, 23, good job, 24 and 25. Okay, so my corner is gonna be right here. Now give me 3 and 2 and 1. There we go. Okay, now this border here is the same. Estimate. Look where your next corner is gonna be, about right there, and then make sure you get the number you want. I want 25, right? And then at the end, I'm gonna do this last border here together with you. So meet you here again. 25th. Already making another corner right there. 1, 2, and 3. All right, now last one. This one here is that last row you done. So your stitches are very obvious, but let's just count them just to be sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. I'll need one more. So I'll double up somewhere here in the middle. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's go for 8, 9, 10. Let's double up here. 11 and 12. Good, keep coming. 13, 14, 15, 16, getting there. Oops. 17. Alrighty. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25 right there. Now join right here and do a slip stitch, and then you're done. Alrighty. Okay, then cut off and make a knot. Now the other side, since you already, if you did that, yeah, if you crocheted the tail in, then just cut off. If you didn't do that, weave in. Okay, so I'm gonna weave in this side here, and then you are done. So weaving in is super simple. Use a big needle with a dual point and a big eye, and follow more or less the direction the yarn wants to go, and then bring it right into the single crochets that were done on the edge. Alrighty, so that's it. So I usually like to go until my yarn is done. Okay, maybe one more. It was an extra long tail. You don't have to actually make it that long. Could be a bit shorter. Okay, there we go. Snip off and finished. Ta-da! Yeah, I love the texture of this stitch. It's really pretty, isn't it? Yeah, it's kind of rough, but I think it looks so neat. Alrighty, good job. Hey, if you're coming up with a great idea with this project here, and like something different, you made a blanket, you made a table runner maybe. Yeah, share your idea with me on Facebook. There is a link in the descriptions below. I have a group there that you can join, and then you can post your picture there as well. Okay, so this was very good. Thank you for joining me here today, and until soon.